Is the German government truly prepared for an impending crisis? What do leaders like Chancellor Olaf Scholz and Defense Minister Boris Pistorius know that they're not sharing with the public? As reports emerge of a nationwide rush to buy bunkers and fortify basements, it's hard to shake the feeling that something far more serious is brewing beneath the surface. In the meantime, please subscribe to my channel HotPoint, give it a like and leave a comment of at least 7 words, and if you feel like it, share this video with others. It will really help my channel. Thank you, and let's keep going. Across Germany, a surge in demand for private bunkers has taken hold, as citizens invest tens of thousands of euros to create safe havens in their own homes. Prices for these shelters range from 30 to 50,000 euros for just 30 square meters of space, yet people are willing to pay. Why this sudden urgency? The answer lies in the government's announcement of a new program aimed at developing 1 million shelter spaces. From repurposing metro stations to converting underground garages, authorities are signaling a serious commitment to preparing for potential large-scale conflict in Europe. This alarming trend has been confirmed by the head of the Federal Office for Civil Protection, who openly acknowledges that preparations are underway for a significant crisis. But the situation escalated dramatically yesterday following an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council. In a rare display of unity, Germany and Poland issued stern statements regarding an unspecified threat, with the defense minister revealing that fighter jets are now on standby to counter potential dangers. Yet a question lingers. Against whom are these military preparations really aimed? Official narratives mention rogue drones from Russia, but one must ponder, why go to such lengths for a handful of drones? What do government officials know, and why does it feel as though they are holding back critical information? Distrust in the government is palpable, with public confidence plummeting to historic lows. 62% of Germans expressed dissatisfaction with Chancellor Scholz's leadership. Why has the population turned against its leaders at a time when military readiness is ramping up? Connecting these dots reveals a disconcerting picture. The construction of bunkers, military mobilization, declining trust in governance, and a conspicuous silence regarding the true nature of these threats. Something ominous is on the horizon, and it appears far more serious than what the authorities are letting on. Our sources in Berlin indicate that closed-door meetings are taking place in the Bundestag, focusing on existential threats to the nation. Food supplies and military storage facilities are being rapidly replenished, and medical professionals are being urgently trained to respond to large-scale casualties. This suggests preparations for an event of catastrophic proportions. One must ask, why are major media outlets silent on this matter? An unprecedented crisis unfolds in Europe, with trust in governments plummeting to historic lows. In Germany, support for the ruling coalition has dwindled to a mere 23%. Meanwhile, in France, President Macron's grip on power is slipping as he grapples with his 5th prime minister. The UK government teeters on the brink of political survival. What does all this reveal? A systemic crisis within Western democracies. Citizens are demanding solutions to long-standing domestic issues, yet political elites seem consumed by geopolitical maneuvers, detached from the realities faced by the average citizen. As these dynamics play out, right-wing movements are gaining traction, serving as a direct response to the impotence of current leadership. This trend is only intensifying, becoming more evident with each election cycle. In the automotive sector, the situation is equally telling. Porsche, a symbol of German engineering excellence, is scaling back its ambitious electric vehicle plans. Why? Because without access to Russian resources and markets, German industry is losing its competitive edge. China has already established dominance, and Europe finds itself struggling to respond adequately to this challenge. The situation is further complicated by the ongoing issue regarding Palestine. While several nations recognize its statehood, Germany stubbornly clings to its outdated stance. But how long can this position be maintained as global sentiment shifts in a different direction? The looming reality of diplomatic isolation is becoming increasingly stark. Amid these developments, preparations for potential conflicts are ramping up in bunkers across Germany. The construction of shelters for millions is underway, while fighter jets remain on alert for drone interceptions. Fear and uncertainty are permeating European society, prompting citizens to stockpile food and essential goods for emergencies. Yet, the most critical aspect is that these events represent only the surface of a much larger iceberg. What transpires behind the scenes could completely alter the balance of power worldwide. In Berlin, the airport continues to struggle with modern challenges. Following a massive cyber attack that paralyzed European airports, Germany's main hub descended into chaos. The fallout from this incident lingered for days, an unprecedented occurrence for a leading European economy. The situation peaked on Monday when a city marathon pushed passenger volume to 95,000, 20,000 above normal, resulting in endless lines and delays. This chaotic scene starkly illustrated the vulnerabilities of German infrastructure. In the transport sector, significant changes are on the horizon. For the first time in history, Deutsche Bahn is led by a woman, Evelyn Pahle. Not only is she the first female CEO, but she also holds the unique distinction of being the only board member with a train driver's license. After the dismissal of the previous director due to overwhelming debts and chronic delays, Pahle aims to achieve a 70% on-time arrival rate by 2029. An intriguing battle is unfolding over the Döner kebab, a popular fast food that arrived in Germany with Turkish immigrants. A Turkish organization is seeking to register it as a traditional national dish, which could significantly restrict German variations of the recipe. In response, Germany has officially lodged an objection with the European Commission. From October, residents of the Eurozone will experience a significant shift with the introduction of a system for instant bank transfers without fees. This innovation will facilitate round-the-clock payments across the EU, greatly simplifying financial transactions for millions of Europeans and small businesses. As we consider these significant transformations, we invite you to share your geographical location in the comments. We are eager to understand the reach of our audience and tailor our content to align with your interests. In the realm of security, profound changes are afoot. A recent unprecedented incident in Scandinavia involved the detection of 23 drones in Copenhagen and 1 in Oslo. This triggered substantial disruptions at airports, leading to the redirection of over 50 flights and affecting 20,000 passengers. Danish authorities are labeling this as the most severe attack on the country's critical infrastructure. Analysis suggests that a skilled operator was behind the controls as the drones navigated complex trajectories with tactical proficiency. The origin of this launch remains unknown, with theories suggesting deployment from maritime vessels. In response to these escalating threats, the United States has reaffirmed its commitment to defending Poland and the Baltic states. Former President Trump has clearly stated support for allies if the situation demands it. Meanwhile, in New York, the UN General Assembly is convening, with a leader from a country bordering Russia scheduled to deliver a speech and participate in a summit focused on the repatriation of children from conflict zones. Reports from Reuters indicate that representatives from a former Western partner nation are counting on support from their allies. As we move forward, it's essential to understand the scale of what's happening. Share your thoughts in the comments. Together, we can assess the implications of these developments for your region. In the meantime, Europe is bolstering its digital security measures. Starting October 12th, a new electronic border control system will be implemented. Instead of traditional stamps, biometric and digital tracking methods will be employed, with a 6-month transition period to accommodate everyone involved. What are your thoughts on these changes? Your opinions are valuable to us. Together, we can gain a clearer understanding of the direction in which the world is heading. Cybersecurity experts emphasize that the recent drone incident could prompt a comprehensive review of the airspace protection protocols across Europe. The Danish Ministry of Defense has already convened an emergency meeting involving NATO specialists to devise new response strategies against such threats. Scandinavian nations are considering the establishment of a unified defense system. As we navigate this complex landscape of geopolitical tensions and domestic unrest, one thing becomes clear. The world is changing, and we must stay informed to understand the implications these events hold for our future. Amid the escalating tensions in the Middle East, the recent recognition of Palestine as a state by several major Western powers raises some pressing questions. How will President Emmanuel Macron's stance on Palestine affect France's relationship with Israel? Will Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's refusal to allow the establishment of a Palestinian state change the dynamics in the region? And what consequences will these geopolitical maneuvers have on the lives of ordinary citizens caught in the turmoil? The situation surrounding unauthorized drone flights over critical infrastructure has taken a backseat to a significant surge in international support for Palestine. Just recently, countries like the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and Portugal officially recognized Palestinian statehood, joining a growing list of nations. Belgium, Luxembourg, Malta, Monaco, and San Marino have followed suit, further solidifying Palestine's standing on the global stage. Macron's declaration of support was especially noteworthy, However, he clarified in an interview with CBS News that he does not classify the events in Gaza as genocide, suggesting that such judgments should be left to judges or historians based on evidence and legal frameworks. Israel's response has been predictably swift and severe. Netanyahu proclaimed that he would not allow a Palestinian state to be established west of the Jordan River, labeling the international recognition of Palestine after the events of October 7th as a reward for terrorism. Reports from The Guardian indicate that some of Netanyahu's ministers are advocating for the annexation of portions of the West Bank. Such a move, however, could severely strain Israel's relationships with Arab nations, particularly the United Arab Emirates, which have already warned that annexation would cross a critical line in bilateral relations. The likelihood of withdrawing Israeli ambassadors from countries that have recognized Palestine seems low. Such an action would likely inflict greater harm on Israel itself. As the situation intensifies, we witness the international community increasingly backing Palestinian statehood despite Israeli opposition. It would be interesting to know from which part of the world you are following these developments. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your input helps us understand our audience's geographical diversity. Meanwhile, as diplomatic efforts unfold, violent clashes in Gaza continue unabated. Recent reports from the Gazan Ministry of Health indicate that the death toll has now surpassed 35,000. The humanitarian crisis intensifies, with over 1 million Palestinians facing acute shortages of food, medical supplies, and clean drinking water. Various international organizations are calling for an immediate ceasefire and the provision of humanitarian assistance. In the realm of global politics, significant changes are underway. France has taken a strong stance against the confiscation of Russian assets, with President Macron emphasizing that such actions violate international law and could lead to chaos. This statement carries considerable weight, particularly given the current strained relations between the West and Russia. At the same time, discussions surrounding nuclear disarmament are evolving. Moscow has expressed its willingness to engage in dialogue, proposing a one-year extension of the New START treaty beyond February 26, 2026. Putin highlighted the importance of maintaining the status quo to prevent a new arms race. Despite Russia's suspension from the treaty in 2023 due to heightened geopolitical tensions, the U.S. remains embroiled in an election cycle, with Trump making controversial claims linking paracetamol to autism and opposing early hepatitis B vaccinations. The medical community promptly condemned these assertions, labeling them as scientifically unfounded and potentially harmful to public health. Technological shifts are also noteworthy as TikTok transitions to American control. 80% of its shares will be held by local investors, including Oracle and Silver Lake, while Chinese firm ByteDance will retain less than 20%, aligning with new legislation driven by national security concerns. In regions experiencing instability west of Russia, the conflict persists. Kellogg criticized Trump's position advocating for an immediate peace deal, suggesting it is more pragmatic first to achieve a ceasefire and establish a demilitarized zone. How do you perceive the potential for extending the New START treaty in the current climate? Let us know from which country you're following these events. We always appreciate understanding our audience's geographical background. In a related note, a support program is being developed for citizens returning from Poland, particularly after Polish authorities announced the cancellation of social benefits for unemployed refugees. This decision particularly affects vulnerable groups such as the elderly, individuals with disabilities, and single parents. The program aims to provide temporary housing, humanitarian aid, medical care, and social support, as officials deem this a necessary response to the increasing challenges faced by those residing in neighboring countries. The leader of a former brother republic acknowledged the decreasing willingness of European nations to accept new refugees, citing the heavy burden on the social systems of host countries. Interestingly, young individuals under the age of 22 have been granted permission to travel abroad, ostensibly to allow them to complete their education. The head of state remarked that otherwise there would be no senior students left in local schools. As for conflict resolution, authorities do not consider either the Korean or Finnish models as viable options. Rather, a preference for an indefinite truce along the existing line of contact is favored. Each day brings new developments, and we are committed to closely following these unfolding stories. In your region, how do people view refugees? Share your thoughts in the comments, letting us know where you are tuning in from. In these challenging times, it is crucial to comprehend the direction events are taking and their potential implications. Experts are suggesting that the return of refugees may create additional tensions in the region, necessitating extensive support measures. authorities have already allocated extra funding to address housing issues and job placement for incoming citizens. Generally, local residents express solidarity with the need to assist compatriots facing difficulties. In recent days, significant escalations have occurred in Eastern Europe, with particular focus on Moldova, where 74 individuals have been detained on suspicion of planning mass unrest ahead of parliamentary elections. Investigations indicate this preparation was facilitated by Russian instructors operating out of Serbia. Moldova's president has voiced serious concerns regarding the possibility of pro-Russian forces winning, highlighting the risk of the country becoming a staging ground for further regional destabilization. She pointed out that hundreds of millions are being spent to influence and buy votes. Understanding the intricacies of Moldova's political structure is essential. It operates as a parliamentary republic. If the current president loses parliamentary support, her ability to govern will be significantly hindered. Meanwhile, in Georgia, the prime minister accused foreign intelligence services of attempting to incite a color revolution, drawing parallels with events in Ukraine and promising to firmly counter any provocations ahead of the critical political development scheduled for October 4th. Russian intelligence has claimed that NATO forces are allegedly preparing to be stationed near Moldova's borders, with reports suggesting possible troop concentrations in Romania. An amusing incident surfaced in New York when President Macron's motorcade was halted by police due to Donald Trump's passage. Macron cleverly called Trump, jokingly informing him that he was waiting outside because of the road closures. Shortly after, traffic resumed normally. As we reflect on these unfolding events, it would be enlightening to gather insights on how these issues might impact your region. Experts warn that tensions in the area have reached a critical point, with many analysts comparing the current situation to previous crises in 2008 and 2014. Forecasts indicate that the coming weeks could prove pivotal for the geopolitical landscape in the entire region. Stay tuned for our updates to remain informed about all significant changes as they occur. What if I told you that the latest developments in our world could change everything you thought you knew? How are influential figures like Elon Musk and Greta Thunberg shaping the future? Are we witnessing the dawn of a new era, or is it just another blip on the radar? Here at HotPoint, we're diving deep into the most pressing issues of our time, unraveling the complexities of current events to keep you informed and engaged. In recent days, we've witnessed a flurry of significant events that have sent shockwaves through the political and social landscapes. From climate crises to technological advancements, the world is in a state of constant flux. On my YouTube channel, HotPoint, I strive to bring clarity to these tumultuous times by providing insightful commentary and analysis on the latest news stories that matter most. One of the most talked about subjects recently has been the ongoing debate surrounding climate change and environmental responsibility. Greta Thunberg, a prominent climate activist, continues to rally support for urgent action against climate inaction. Her passionate speeches resonate with millions around the globe, urging leaders to prioritize sustainability over short-term gains. In contrast, tech mogul Elon Musk is pushing the envelope on innovation, advocating for electric vehicles and renewable energy solutions through his companies. But the question remains, are these efforts enough to combat the impending climate crisis? Meanwhile, the political arena is heating up, with various leaders taking bold stances on pressing issues. The interplay between technology and governance is becoming increasingly evident as policymakers grapple with the implications of rapid advancements. The decisions made today will undoubtedly have lasting effects on our society, shaping the future for generations to come. At HotPoint, I aim to dissect these developments, providing a nuanced perspective that helps viewers understand the broader context. By analyzing the motivations and actions of key figures like Musk and Thunberg, we can better grasp the challenges we face and the potential solutions on the horizon. Join me as we explore these intricate narratives, ensuring you're well equipped to navigate the complexities of our world. With each new episode, I strive to uncover the truth behind the headlines, making the news accessible and engaging for everyone. Stay tuned to HotPoint for in-depth discussions and timely updates on the issues that matter most. Together, we can stay informed and make sense of the ever-changing landscape of global affairs.